Hello and welcome back to our grade 9 maths lesson. I am Mrs. Ray, your teacher. Okay, in today's lesson we are going to look at cumulative frequency graphs. A cumulative frequency graph is a graph that represents a running total of frequencies. On the board I have the scores of a student in a class, out of 30. And I am going to put down the number of students and the scores that I have scored in the test. I have already sorted that into classes. Okay, let's look at the scores of the number of students with the scores that I have put up on the board. From 0 to 5, I have 3 students who have scored 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 4 students, 10 to 15, 8 students, 15 to 20, we have 13 students, 20 to 25, 7 students, and 25 to 30, 5 students. If we add all those numbers, they will add up to 40. The total frequency always tells us the total number of students. Now, I am going to add the frequencies to give me the cumulative frequency. We start with 3, 3 plus 4, 7, 7 plus 8, 15, 15 plus 13, 28, 28 plus 7, 35, 35 plus 5 gives me 40. So, the running totals or the cumulative frequency totals will add up to the total number of frequencies. Now, many of us are wondering why I have all these numbers. This is very, very important because I am going to put all these numbers on the cumulative frequency column onto this cumulative frequency graph. Okay? For 0 to 5, the cumulative frequency is 3. Okay? So 3 is somewhere here below 5. 5 to 10, the cumulative frequency is 7. 7 is above 5, somewhere below 10 here. And then 25 to 30, that's 40 here. And then I join these graphs, dots here, to form a cumulative frequency graph. I join all these points here. And now I have come up with a cumulative frequency graph. Now, you might be thinking why I have this. Now, what I am going to do, I am going to divide this into what we have learned in our last lesson, upper quartile and the lower quartile. And then I'll have to find the median first. The median is always the 50th percentile. So to get the median, I have for the median score that will be 50, because it is the 50th percentile. 50% is 50 over 100 multiplied by the total number of students. That will give me 20. So, to find the median score, I have to look at the cumulative frequency where 20 is, and I draw a straight line from 20 to where the graph is, and then from the graph down to where the scores are. Okay? That's roughly about 17. So, this is my median score. Okay, so the median from the graph is 17. This means 17 students, 20 students have scored less than 17 out of 30. Now, I will look for the lower quartile. The lower quartile is the 25th percentile. Okay, so lower quartile is equal to 25 over 100 multiplied by 40, which is the total number of students, and that gives me 10. Okay, so I'll draw a straight line from 10 and I find out what the lower quartile is. Okay, the lower quartile is roughly around 12. That's there. So from here we can see that 10 students have scored less than 12. So the lower quartile will be equal to 12. Now let's calculate the upper quartile. The upper quartile is the 75th percentile. So we have 75 over 100 multiplied by 40, that gives us 30. Then I draw a line straight from 40 to where the graph is, and then from the graph down. Okay, that's roughly around 22. So this means that 22 students, 30 students have scored less than 22. So from this graph, the cumulative frequency graph, we can see that 30 students have scored less than 22 and 10 students have scored more than 22. Now, we have to calculate the interquartile range. The interquartile range is equal to the upper quartile minus the lower quartile, which is 22 minus 12. Okay, that's roughly around 10. So the interquartile range of this set of scores is 10. Now, the interquartile range is very, very important because this tells us how far the marks spread out from the median or from the center. That means if the interquartile range is large, there is a wide spread of marks that spread out from the median. So that indicates to us that that is not really a good test. If the interquartile range is small, then that means most of the marks are clustered towards the center, and that indicates a good test. So this is the method that is used to evaluate the marks of the students after they sit for the test, to see whether the students have done well or not. Usually there is a policy for teachers to set what they call supplementary test if a test is not valid after assessing the test using this method. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson. And in our next lesson, we are going to look at probability. And you are going to enjoy probability. Thank you.